Hey guys, Dylan here. Gonna try to hit every tank. It's not so often that I got every tank looking pretty good, you know, with the amount of tanks I have in here. They're not always very stable together at the same time, but a lot of them are looking really good. I did a little bit of a maintenance today, and every tank has had a trimming or at least some maintenance and a water change this afternoon. So I kind of wanted to cruise around, check them out, see what the inhabitants are up to. What's Mojo doing? He's just hanging in the moss, huh? Hey, buddy. I'm feeding the shrimp right now, so they're all down here on the substrate. We'll cruise them real quick. Really liking the growth in this tank. It's kind of out of control. Maybe do a little trimming very soon in there, but I like the shrimp to have something to climb on. If you notice, the 55 has a little bit of a change. Did a trimming of the rotala, and I also added a filter to the right hand side. You can see how those floating plants are kind of stuck up in that right hand corner because I've altered the flow in here by adding this filter. And I don't know if I told you this before, but I'm kind of done with the huge rotala growth. I mean, I liked it. It was very fun to try to grow this plant out and just make it look massive. But I'd like to rescape this tank. The large sword will probably stay. Check out this runner that's growing off of it. I love that thing. That's so cool. It's the first time I've had a runner come off this sword. But I will, you know, rescape pretty much this part of the tank where I've added the flow, added the new filter. Some of the stems rotala will stay, but it's going to kind of be a new scape for the most part. Add a couple different new plants. Had to switch up this tank a little bit too. Got rid of some of the inacaris. A lot of the organic debris kind of breaking down, helping this tank establish. And I'm loving it. Had to clip some of the swords, but the new growth looking really good. And they're coming back. There are a couple different floating plants in this tank too. But this is the newest tank, and it's pretty much established for a tank with, you know, lots of plant life and no substrate as far as dirt. It's just a couple of, you know, root tabs in here. And I still got the long fin leopards in here, and my paradise fish, who's looking fantastic. I wish he would show his face in the light. I don't see him. I don't see where he is. He is a very social fish. I'm surprised he isn't coming out. Oh, there he is. He is hiding from me. And he's getting pretty big. The finnage is really nice. His tail is finally starting to, you know, gain some length and definitely darken up as far as those reds. Come down, bud. Now he's a little apprehensive. He sees me pointing the camera at him. But I'll keep you updated on him. Haven't got a name for him yet. We're definitely going to name that paradise fish. I mean, Mojo's got a name. I'd love to be able to show you the guppies down here. The last several times I came and took a look down here, I wasn't able to capture them on film. But there are a couple of them. I got the subadult and then 2 left from this last batch who are surviving. This tank has had a trim and a water change today. How's that for a beast snail? What are you up to, dude? The things we see in our aquarium, it's so awesome. There's another one over here too. They do a great job, my little vacuum cleaners. Feed this tank heavily for the most part. I wouldn't say heavily, but you know, a lot of that ground up pellets, you know, for the fry. Are the smaller guppies in here, so I'm glad to have the shrimp in here to vacuum it up. And my little Brashard, she's coming out. I got to get her into the Brashard tank just to test out what's going on, because she's been doing very well in this tank feeding on guppies. I got to make a move though. Check out the Danio fry. They're so big nowadays. I added a filter to this tank finally. Adds more flow to the tank, and they've actually been able to school and, you know, swim in that extra flow, and it just helps with their development. And with the added circulation in the tank, I got the plants moving around. Look at the extra light beaming on these swords, and they're just popping. They just look super green right now. Same thing with the Anacharis is kind of up here. And these Danio fry are looking huge. Very soon we'll get them into the 55. That was always the plan, is to you know, raise these fry up and add them to the 55. But the 55 is getting a new skate very soon. At least the Rotala is going. You know, like I said, I've had my fun with the Rotala, and it's time to try something else. Got a lot of plants that I've kind of kept down here in this holding tank. Some wisteria, some huge epongitons, a couple different other plants, and thinking about adding some of these fish, at least maybe the tiny little school of bloodfin tetra I have down here, into the 55. I told you that this male guppy will be in the guppy colony once I get that tank settled, and we'll be switching some things around, but more likely be pulling plants out of here to add to the 55, just to kind of rescape that tank. Now let's check out one of the newest tanks. I guess this is the newest tank, although it was kind of an Anacharis holding tank for some time. But now I got this monster lace plant in here, and I showed you guys that in the silent video. I had to kind of update this tank just because it was looking so good, and hadn't shot a video about it in a while since I pulled out all the Anacharis. Check out this runner. Look at the flower it's growing. I hope we can see that. That's cool. A beautiful plant. Same thing with these Ludwigia stems. Happy to throw these in here. They might be one of the new plants I added to the 55. Not too sure yet. Might even try to make room for this lace. Although I kind of like it in this tank, even though it's really kind of a large plant for a, you know, a 10-gallon tank. But I enjoy seeing the shrimp swimming in here. It's a cool tank to see them kind of hang out on. Alright, definitely did some little work in my Mr. Pea Puffer tank today. I'm going to call him Ravi. My little Indian dwarf pea puffer is now Ravi Mahatma. He's an Indian, and he's a very cool little dude. I just had to add some, you know, I had to naturalize this tank. I had to get some greens in here, just because that's the way I like to do my fish keeping. Plus, I needed some vegetation for, you know, the snails to live on, so, you know, he could hunt them. So I kind of thickened some things up, added some substrate, just to, you know, for surface area, get a cycle going in here. And I told you in the past, probably several times, that I've had trouble keeping, you know, stable systems in smaller volumes of water like this 5-gallon tank. Doesn't have a hang on the back, just has air filtration, you know, with my do-it-yourself prime bottle. Got some, you know, some polyfill inside there, capturing the debris, and a little sponge as a, you know, biological media. But I needed to add surface area, such as rocks or something more down here, to get the nitrifying bacteria growing, to get some kind of, you know, substrate, some kind of, you know, base, some kind of bed for these plants to grow on. But yeah, this is the puffer tank. I'm really digging the fact that I have much more vegetation in here. And we'll see what happens as far as the stable cycle. Like I said, you know, doing 50% water changes in, you know, a small tank like this, you know, you lose a lot of the nitrifying bacteria that's growing on the walls. So you got to make sure that it's, you know, on rocks, on, you know, plants, and not just growing on your walls. But yeah, quick look at Ravi Mahatma's tank, and I'll keep you guys updated on him too, because I don't know, he might live in there for some time, until I decide, you know, what's the ideal spot for a dwarf pea puffer to live in, as far as what's going on in my fish room. But before this video gets too long, I will duck into the Brashard tank. I'm definitely going to check these guys out. Thinking about trimming this. This thing is just so huge. It's waving in the flow, and I can trim it, bring it down, put it somewhere else in the tank, but then I won't have this monster looking plant growth in the tank like I do. I don't know, something worth thinking about. I figured we'll check out the Brashard. Yeah, they hang out down here a lot together. Underneath this slate that I kind of have up against the back here. And I'm hopeful. It's kind of a hopeful sign. But you never know. Like I said, I'm happy to keep them whether they breed or not. These are very cool fish. We keep rolling. We'll head over to the Mbuna tank, and I'll say that's the update, guys. Thanks for checking them out. Like I said, it's not all the time where you got every single one of these tanks, you know, fairly stable and looking pretty damn good. So it's worth getting the camera out, letting you guys take a look. And last but not least, most certainly not least, Mbuna. Oh, what, did I wake you up? These guys are great. They're very social too. I mean, I come into the room and it's not like feed me. It's like, what's up? You know, kind of taking a look at me more than, you know, waiting for their dinner. Although they were fed, you know, less than an hour ago. I don't know why I want to keep looking at Wally, but look at him. Don't you want to keep looking at him? Yeah, you are. Alright guys, I say thanks for hanging out. It's going to be the FishRoom update. So glad that all these tanks are stable right now. I've put in the work, put in the maintenance this week, so like I said, it's worth taking the camera out, checking them out. You guys have a good one. Peace.